Most amateur golfers, they got no clue on how to hit their wedges. Today, I'm going to share with you one simple system, one swing that allows you to hit all of these clubs, different distances, and master the wedge game. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV, and I get this question a lot in the comments, on the lesson tee, on the internet, on our website, you name it, like, hey Todd, how do I hit these wedges? Well, the good news is that it really only requires one swing to allow you to hit a variety of different shots. So I've got a 58, I've got a 54, and I've got a pitching wedge. So let's dive right into this. I'm going to start with the pitching wedge first. And the first thing I want to teach you here is I want to teach you the proper swing for the wedges. Because there's a couple key components you got to look at. And then I'm going to talk about when you use the different clubs in different situations. We got a lot of room to cover here. We got a lot of ground to get through. So let's get right after it. All right. So face on right here. I've got my live view set up. Love my live view. Love my live view for a variety of reasons. I just like the feedback. It's literally instant feedback. It's like having my own man Nick. Like I got two Nicks here. I got Nick behind the camera there and I got Nick over here. So it's really good stuff. So you'll notice I got a red line on there. Now I put that line on there as just a reference, okay? And you can put that you can see it's right along my eye line. Now the reason for the red line is that's basically the length of the swing that your hands, not the club head, not the club shaft, think about your hands. That's tip number one. When you start thinking about wedge swings, don't think about, oh, is the club to parallel? Oh, where's the club head? All those things you can't see, all right? Think about your hands. How far do your hands travel? So let me just go ahead and actually hit a shot, and then we'll take a look at it here on live view. So I got my pitching wedge. We'll talk about the setup here in a second. All right, that felt pretty good. Boom, live view recorded it. Here it comes, how quickly it's playing it back. Let's look at the length of swing. Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good in the backswing. The follow through is a little bit longer than, and that's okay. The follow through, the forward swing should be a little longer than the backswing. So that's the first concept, is the length of swing. Focus more on the distance that your hands travel, not so much how far the club shaft travels or parallel, those types of stuff. Now, let me give you a couple quick tips on the setup, and then we'll talk about the different clubs. On the setup, I want that ball to be positioned pretty much in the center of the stance, maybe ever so slightly forward. So that's why I love live view here from face on. Okay, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that we incorporate this into the vertical line swing system. You put your feet together, little step, and notice where that ball is positioned. Basically kind of off the zipper. That's where I want it to be, the zipper on my pull over here. I also want you to feel like you've got a little bit of weight on that lead foot, okay? Maybe 65–70%. You know that I typically teach the 60-40 split. It's in our book, The Bad Lie. It's in our vertical line swing coaching system, all right? But a little bit more weight on that lead foot helps, because I want you to feel like it kind of stays there in the backswing. So let's recap, then we're going to talk about the different clubs. Length of swing is important. Yeah, about eye height on the backswing, but focus on how high and how far your hands travel, not so much the club shaft. Number two, ball a little more in the center of the stance, weight a little bit forward. Now, here's the beauty. If you master that setup and you master that swing, you just got to change clubs, all right? And that's going to give you different types of ball flight. So when should I use the pitching wedge? Well, like today, I've got a little bit of headwind. So if I want to hit that ball a little bit lower, I can go with the pitching wedge. Let's go ahead and hit a shot here. Feet together, there it is. Rehearse it with the live view. There's the length I want. There it is, I mastered that. Here we go. Weight a little left. Ooh, that was solid. I kept my weight a little more left on that. That was really good right there, and I can see in the live view that was a perfect motion. Now, what about the 54? Well, the 54, I believe, is kind of more the middle of the road. It's going to kick it a little bit higher, so if I've got a pin in the back or I'm into the wind, I'm going pitching wedge. Okay, if the pin is in the middle and there's no wind, I'm going to go 54. Let's just go ahead and hit one, and then we're going to talk about the 58 in a second here. Okay, all right, here we go. Feet together, weight a little left, practice that length of swing. There we go. Boom. That was pretty good there. Maybe a little thin, okay, but still, once again, pretty much the same length that I had there. All right, now the 58, I like to use, of course, when you need maximum height All right, you need maximum height, and I like to use it a lot when the pin is in the front because you want that ball to land and you want it to stick. You don't want it to release. Now, we understand that these clubs are also going to go different distances. Your pitching wedge swing is going to go, of course, further than the 54 and the 58. But what you've got to be aware of also is the trajectory and the height. Okay, it seems like I shouldn't even have to mention that, but when you're hitting shots into the wind, you want less loft. Okay, when you're no wind or you want the ball to stop right away, you want more loft. Okay, so when it comes to wedge play, you could chase your tail and do all types of different things. But ultimately, what I want you to see is I want you to see the ball in the center. I want you to see a little bit of weight forward, and I want your length of swing to be consistent throughout the bag, and then dial in the different distances that you hit the ball based on that length of swing. If you do those couple concepts right there, your wedge play will definitely improve.